My mom told me, your brother already promised his fiancée your beach house, so don't embarrass him by saying no, then expected me to sign it over. During their engagement party, so I said, go ahead and toast the gift, because the sheriff will be delivering the real surprise. I bought the Outer Banks house 4 years ago with my own sweat, blood, and a grueling 70-hour workweek schedule. It was originally our late grandfather's rundown fisherman's cottage. When he passed, the bank was ready to foreclose on it. My mother and my older brother Julian laughed at the idea of saving it. Julian called it a rotting pile of driftwood. So I took out personal loans, paid off the back taxes, and spent 3 years rebuilding it from the foundation up with my own hands. Last month, Julian got engaged to Chloe, a woman who judges human worth strictly by zip codes and social media aesthetics. Julian didn't have a down payment for an apartment, let alone a coastal retreat, but he had an ego and he had my mother in his corner. 3 days before their extravagant engagement party, my mother called me into her kitchen. She didn't offer me coffee, she just slid a manila folder across the marble counter. Julian already told Chloe's family that the coastal house is his wedding gift to her, she said, her voice flat and dismissive. Her parents are paying for a $60,000 wedding because they think he owns prime oceanfront real estate. You need to sign the deed over before Friday. I stared at her, genuinely thinking it was a sick joke. I have $200,000 of my own equity in that house. Mom, it's in my name. I'm not giving away my home. My mother's face hardened into pure venom. Julian is the eldest. He needs this to establish himself. If you say no, you'll ruin his marriage before it even starts. Don't you dare embarrass your brother in front of his new family. When I refused and walked out, she shouted after me that family doesn't keep score. 2 days later, I drove out to the beach house to clear my head. When I arrived, the electronic deadbolts had been drilled out and replaced. Julian hadn't just assumed I would roll over. He had already moved Chloe's designer luggage into my master bedroom. More than that, my grandfather's locked safe in the study had been forced open. Grandfather's vintage 1968 gold Omega watch, his wartime medals, and $15,000 in emergency cash reserves were gone. I didn't scream. I didn't call Julian. Instead, I pulled up my hidden security camera footage from my phone, saved the cloud backups to 3 separate flash drives, and called the county sheriff's department. When the deputy saw the footage of Julian and his future father-in-law hauling my property out to a U-Haul, he asked if I wanted to press charges immediately. Not yet, I said quietly. Let's wait until Friday night. Friday evening, the country club ballroom was packed with over 100 people. Chloe was glowing in silk. Julian was wearing a tailored suit bought on credit, and my mother was reigning over the room like royalty. Midway through dinner, my mother tapped a silver spoon against her champagne flute. The room went silent. A toast to my boy Julian and his beautiful bride. My mother beamed into the microphone. And to celebrate their union, our family is doing something truly special tonight. My younger son has prepared a life-changing gift to welcome Chloe into our legacy. She gestured sharply for me to stand. Julian looked at me with an arrogant smirk, holding out an open legal folder with a pen resting on top of it. He genuinely believed that in a room full of wealthy strangers, public humiliation would force me to surrender. Come on up, brother, Julian urged into the mic. Sign the transfer so we can make it official. I stood up slowly, straightened my jacket, and picked up my glass. Go ahead and raise your glasses, everyone, I said, my voice completely steady. Toast the gift, because the real surprise is already walking through the front door. The double doors at the back of the ballroom click open. 2 county deputies and the county sheriff walk in, crisp uniforms standing out against the black-tie crowd. The ambient chatter died instantly. The sheriff didn't hesitate. He walked directly up to the head table, pulled a pair of steel cuffs from his belt, and looked straight at Julian. Julian Vance, you're under arrest for grand larceny, felony breaking and entering, and possession of stolen property. The entire room gasped. Chloe's mother dropped her glass, shattering it against the hardwood. Julian went pale as a corpse. Wait, what? Mom, tell him! This is a family dispute. No, it isn't, I said coldly, loud enough for every single guest to hear. You broke into my private property on Tuesday, stole our grandfather's heirlooms, took $15,000 in cash, and tried to bully me into signing over a deed under duress. It's all on high-definition video. My mother lunged toward me, hissing, you ruined him! You destroyed his life over a piece of dirt! He destroyed himself the second he stole from me, I replied. Julian was escorted out of the ballroom in handcuffs while his future in-laws stood frozen in horrified disgust. By midnight, Chloe's father had canceled the wedding and ordered her to pack her bags. The beach house is still mine. The locks are brand new, and for the first time in my life, my phone is completely, beautifully silent.